All right, good morning. Today is October 4th, 2022. My name is Richard Perez. I'm a Veterans Benefit Coach with the Kings County Library. This interview is part of the Veterans History Project. Could you please state your full name?
Max Silva.
Well, welcome, Mr. Silva, and thank you so much for taking the time out of your life and sharing your personal journey of military service. So, Mr. Silva, where are you from?
Texas.
What part of Texas?
McNary.
And did you grow up in Texas, or did you?
No, I went to school in Texas, and I grew in Texas, but we migrated all the way into California when we were young.
Okay. Are your parents still with us?
No, they all deceased.
My condolences. And what did they do for a living?
What did they do for me?
No, what did they do for a living? What kind of work did your parents
Oh, we
do?
did farm work mostly.
Do you have any brothers or sisters?
No, they all expired.
Okay. Did any of your brothers and sisters serve in the military?
No.
Okay. What did you do, Mr. Silva, before you served in the military?
I did farm work.
So you were a farmer. So, Mr. Silva, what military branch did you join?
United States Navy.
Were you drafted or enlisted?
No, I enlisted.
And what year was that?
1952.
So what inspired you to choose the U.S. Navy?
What expired? Well, I get a little trouble with my friends, so I told my dad I wanted to join the service. And I figured the Navy would probably do the best thing for me because I heard building different people about schooling and stuff like that. So that's what took me into it.
Okay. So, I know you went to boot camp.
Yeah.
How was boot camp?
Well, I enjoyed boot camp, yeah.
Yeah, was it hard? Was the instructors...
That wasn't easy.
It was easy. Okay. So how about your drill instructor? Is there any special drill instructor or maybe a school instructor that you want to talk about?
I had no problem.
So how was your life adjusting to the military when you came into the Navy?
Well, I enjoyed it. I mean, to me, it was new and me. It didn't change. I know, I was learning and everything, but.
Okay. So you completed your basic training and all your job training. So I'm sure they let you go home on leave to visit your family or something. So what did you do after training? What did you do on leave?
Well, after training, I went home. My parents, and then she was in San Jose. And this when I decided, we might as well get married, regardless of what happened. I didn't want to lose her. So he says, are you doing it or we're not doing it? We'll do it. Let's go.
So you got married. Well, congratulations. And how long have you been married with your wife?
Oh, Jesus. 69?
69 years of marriage. That is beautiful. That's a blessing there. So, Mr. Silva, when you were in training, was there any special training? What job training did you do in the Navy?
What job training did I do?
In the Navy, in training, yeah.
Well, I went to aviation hydraulic schools, and just about it. And I specialized in, at that time, I don't think they were around, they weren't around then. And, we used to have what they call, you probably remember, at the hangars, aircraft hangars, we used to have this share room there with a cell in there. But some of these guys, they keep on repeating their bad things that they shouldn't be doing, just a repeater.
Okay.
So, for some reason or the other one, I was a boxer. And I don't know if the cheek had to do with it or not, but anyway, I got stuck with we used to call what we used to call detention, something like that. I don't know, I forget the name of it. Well, anyway, we keep on repeating, they recommend us to our area.
Oh, yeah?
And I guess it means that I was mean with them. They like the way I treat them.
Uh-huh.
They stuck me with that.
Okay.
And that's all I did, just take care of the bad boys and either going to square away or come back in. So I had a black guy one time. He was always in trouble. He says, Mr. Silva, I says, yes. Where do you hang in town? I said, well, I like to drink. I hang around bars so. I says, why? I want to buy you a drink. I said, I'm going to let you buy me a drink. But if you start to hustle, you're going to pay over here again. And then, he's treating out pretty good.
Well, that's
And he
awesome.
says, would you refer me to go back in the Navy again? I said, you know what? The way you're doing right now, the way you're acting right now, I'd be more than glad to, but don't mess me up again because you'll never see the end of it.
Okay.
And he really listened, he accepted him, and he did a hell of a good job.
Well, that's outstanding. And that was some of your influence, I'm sure, Mr. Silva.
Pardon me?
You influenced that young sailor. He liked your leadership, and that's why he asked you the questions he asked you. And so, since you were in aviation hydraulics, that means, were you on an aircraft carrier? Did you work on an aircraft?
All aircraft carriers.
Do you remember which aircraft carrier you were on?
I started at USS Bedouin Strait, a cheap carrier.
Okay.
That's when we had the Marine squadrons going over Korea.
Uh-huh.
And then from there I went to the USS Wright.
Mm-hmm.
That's another. They're tankers, fuel tankers converted to
aircraft
fuel
carriers?
dump aircraft fuel. And also the food and stuff like that. And then from there I went to, we went to, what the hell is it? I went to the Ranger, or taking a rogue, I don't remember. There were several ships involved in there. Because I was a Ranger, the Ticonderoga, the Kearsarge, and you name it.
Okay. So, I see you have, your hat, you have a Korean and Vietnam War veteran. So you have experience in war. What year did you go to Korea? The Korean
I went to
War?
Korea right after 1952.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I had orders to go down there.
And then in Vietnam, when did you go to Vietnam?
In Vietnam, I went in 1968, I think it was.
So when you went to both campaigns, war campaigns, was the war already started when you went to war?
Vietnam, Korea, yes.
Okay.
And Vietnam, yes.
Okay. So was your deployment to the Korean War and Vietnam War, are you involved in the front line or direct line operations,
No,
combat operations?
We were designated to go into areas where aircraft went down, because we were the mechanics.
Okay.
And then we go down there and make sure that either we get the tires fixed for them so they can get out of there fast as we can get them, or any landing gear or whatever, because we got to get them out of there.
So what kind of things that you were stressed, what kind of brought worries to you when you were in war?
What kind of worries me?
Yeah. Or,
The only thing that worried me when I was there, sometimes we used to have foxholes.
mm-hmm.
And the only thing that wears me out, I was in charge of anybody there with me. I lost a chief there for not paying attention to me. And, things like that, the guy don't, they don't listen.
Mm-hmm.
You try to get them to listen so they won't get hurt. They're going to get hurt, we're going to get hurt. But that was my main stressful there.
How did that change your life?
No, it didn't change my life at all. It was no life change at all, period.
Okay.
I just think about the past, what happened.
Okay, Mr. Silva. As you know, as a veteran and serving in, in the military, you make friends.
Oh, yeah.
Can you want to tell me about any of your military friendships, your battle buddies?
Well, I have a lot of friends, but like I said, it's been a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, people are dying. We don't know who's dying or whatever. And like to hear, we don't see very many of these heads around no more.
No, we don't, sir. I'm honored to interview you here, and I was glad I was able to meet you on Retiree Appreciation Day. It was awesome when I saw you.
Yeah, even in, when we go to seminars, I always would say, well, where I go. And even in seminars, they used to go for the AMVETS, American Veterans,
Mm-hmm.
and they said, oh my God, you're just about the only one I see left in here.
Yes, sir. And thankful, thank God. So, Mr. Silva, I know being a combat veteran myself, when you're out there overseas serving our nation, defending freedom, you worry about your family back home, and you want to speak to your wife or your kids. How did you do that? Were you able to?
Well,
to
the thing
communicate with your wife?
The singing with my wife, the singing really bugged me, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
Being there, and they being there, and I don't know what they need or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, I used to be a heavy drinker, and if I was sending enough money for them to make a living or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
that was my main thing about
The welfare of your family, right?
My family.
Yes, sir. So, is there any special memories of your service in the Navy that you wanna share? Anything throughout your years in the Navy that you want to share with us?
No, I don't have any that I know of right now.
Okay. So, were you awarded any medals and camp?
Oh yeah,
awards?
I got medals. Yeah, I got my Korean medals, and Vietnam medals, good conduct medals. What do you call the other one? Vietnam and
Southeast Asia ribbon.
I don't know. I got Korea, Vietnam, and good conduct, and several other medals. I don't think, but I can't even say what.
No. Okay. So when you were in Vietnam and in Korea, how did the Korean people and the Vietnam people, treat you? Did they help you, as an American GI?
Well, to say, being honest with you, they were real helpful out there.
Mm-hmm.
Because they knew the way their people over there would do to our people here.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we respect them for.
Mm-hmm.
You go down there somewhere and they hide you, so the enemy wouldn't take you. Because once you get caught in it, once it takes you, forget about you.
So, would you like to speak about a wounded battle buddy or fallen comrade?
No, I don't have any. I don't see that much in it.
Okay. So let's go ahead and, so now the war has come to an end, Mr. Silva. You've done your service in the Korean War, you did your Vietnam War duty and service. Now it's time to come home. So do you remember when the war ended?
Well, I remember that we got shipped to Vietnam, and that was at the time that the Korean War was just about to end, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
And then Vietnam took over, and then that's when they shipped us over there. Our carriers there.
So where were you when finally the Vietnam finished?
I tell you, when I was aboard I think I was aboard the USS Ticonderoga Roger or Yorktown, I don't remember, or USS Ranger, but I don't remember too well.
So once you came back to the United States and your period of service war was coming to an end, How was your readjustment to becoming a civilian?
You know, it took a little while, but it didn't take me long at all.
That's good. So the adjustment was pretty smooth. Or a little bumpy, but it wasn't bad.
Well, I know it hit some guys bad, but, you know, it never bothered me that bad.
So what was it like when you returned home? What did America...
Well, it was a little experience.
Okay. Would you like to talk more about that, or...?
That's about it.
So after your military service, what was your job, your occupation after the service?
After I got out of service?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
Well, let's see, I started working at county hospital for about 16 years. And I was what they call a nursing attendant.
Mm-hmm.
And they liked the way I did my job there, so the doctor in charge of the emergency room, he wanted me to get the presence there with him because he liked the way I do the work for him. And so, you know, some of these guys, they just want to get paid. They don't want to do nothing.
Okay. So you worked in the hospital as a nurse assistant. Did you go continue your education?
Well, like I said, I went to nursing school, but I dropped out for my drinking too. And then I went to emergency medical technician school to work in ambulance work.
Okay. So after returning home, finally got settled down and readjusted. Have you stayed in contact with any of your fellow veterans?
Yeah, around here in Tulare, the ambulance I used to belong with.
Do you, Mr. Silva, do you attend any military, reunions, say Navy reunions for maybe the carrier you worked on, or are you involved in any military organizations like American Legion, VFW, American Vets?
Well, I did attend, I didn't do that much on it. It's American Legion in Oak Harbor, Washington.
Okay.
Because it's the only one that they have said about it. And I've been in where I had they have one here. I heard through the grapevine that Lemoore might have one. I don't know.
Have what?
But Lemoore.
Uh-huh.
But the ones that they're pushing me on is a PPAW or whatever it is.
The VFW, the Veterans of Foreign War?
Yeah. That's the one that pushed me to keep my paperwork going.
Yeah, keep your connection.
I like to do that.
Yes, sir.
And I want to do it because, like I said, I need to get the newspaper and trying to keep track of what's going on.
Yes,
with
sir.
some of them all, like I said, some may be leaving, some may be dead or whatever, or somebody being trying to get a hold of it.
So you want to stay updated and keep updated with all the fellow veterans and what's available.
And see, I got people that I knew in Oak Harbor that bought the property there, and that town has really grown a lot. And I would like to keep find out what's going on and how they're doing. But there's no way I can do it right now. So, the only way of doing it is going over there or drive over there or whatever.
So with all your experience, what life lessons have you learned with your military service?
What?
What lessons have you learned with your service in the military?
Well, I tell you one lesson that I learned is a little more respectful, and stuff like that. Because I used to have it. I always believe in a negative attitude. Now I don't.
Okay, so it definitely has an impact in your life. How about military, your service in the military and also in your service as a war veteran? How has that changed your life?
Pardon me?
How has your life been changed with your experience as a war
To
veteran?
me, it's no change at all because, I'm always the same.
Okay. So your family, your children, your grandchildren, and all the future generations of young Americans and young leaders are going to see, they're going to watch your video. What do you want to share with them? What experience do you want to share of your service in the U.S. Navy?
Well, even the shame, I always go for the works, because I figure that some of these people don't know what's going on, and they need to find out what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Make them aware of what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll be surprised, a lot of people don't.
Okay. Is there anything else that you like to share with, your experience, things that you want to talk about anything I didn't ask you that you would like to talk about? I mean.
Well, the only thing that I can see right now that I learn and I foresee stuff is this younger generation going into the armed forces.
Mm-hmm.
Take any school they can get. Any school, I don't care where it is, just take any school.
Okay.
Because that's where your education is going to come in right there.
Yes. Yes, I truly agree with you there, Mr. Silva. Being a military veteran and serving in the military gives you an opportunity to learn teamwork, right? Responsibility, loyalty,
You get the schools,
Yes, sir. And just self-improvement, right? You improve yourself, and that's a great testament to yourself too, especially you having the experience in as a Korean War veteran and a Vietnam War veteran. Those were two campaigns that were very hard and challenging, not only for the American service member, but also to their families.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure your wife can agree that she's been with you. You've been married for 65 years. That is beautiful. And how many children do you have?
9.
9 children. And how about grandchildren and great-grandchildren?
15 grandchildren.
15 grandchildren. That's a blessing. And that is awesome. Well, Mr. Silva, I see you brought some stuff for us to look at here. You brought some pictures and that. And just go ahead and hold up the first one. It looks like it's your military service picture.
Mm-hmm.
And that. And let's talk about, if you want to hold it up in the camera. And so the picture on top, is that your training? Is that your picture when you were in training there? You can pull it down and look at it if you want to remember about it. Is that you? So where are you at in that picture, Mr. Silva?
Oh, let's see.
San Diego.
So that was taken in San Diego?
Yep.
And where are you at in there? In the audience, in the group? Can you remember where you're at?
This is a company picture right here.
Awesome.
Yeah. You can see right here, right? That one there. And
So the one on the bottom, that was your company picture? And
no, this one here is where the one on the bottom is the first time I went to a BS squadron.
All right, I'll turn it around and let's see it. Put it on the camera.
BS 38, I think. And this is a company picture right here.
Okay. If you'd like to show it again to us, we'll put it on the camera and show when you were a young sailor. And
Okay,
how old were you in those pictures, Mr. Silva?
Well, let's see. I think this is me.
And how old were you?
Oh, 18.
18 years old. Hey, let's turn it around. I want to put it on camera to show your young versions. Turn it around, face the camera, hold it up. We'll hold it up and
Take your hand off.
yeah, hold it higher, and then you are right there. Well, look at you, Mr. Silva, young, handsome GI sailor. That's why your wife fell for you, huh? You're like, who's that handsome guy? Well, that's beautiful. And those were what location were those pictures taken at?
This location, the pictures are taken in San Diego.
San Diego, California. Wow, look at that.
And the one on the top of the company picture was taken right there in NTC.
NTC,
Center.
the National Training Center? Wow, so that was going on. What year was the bottom picture taken?
The bottom picture, I was taken right after graduating from NTC.
So that was, what year, 19...
52.
1954. 1954, wow. And I didn't even know the National Training Center was doing pictures.
They was took a training in Camp Elliott.
Oh, wow, look at that. Okay, so let's go ahead and share another picture. Well, thank you for that one, Mr. Silva. Let's see, you have a looks like a military certificate over there.
Okay, this is when I came in with Fleet Reserve. That's when I was discharged from the armed forces.
Uh-huh.
See, I was discharged from the,
And you're retired.
I was in the aviation structural mechanic class.
Uh-huh. So after you retired, you went into the, what is it, the Fleet Reserve, I think it is, right? The Navy Fleet.
And this is from Heavy Attack Squadron 122, and 122 was here in San Diego.
Lemoore.
In Lemoore. It was in Lemoore,
Yeah.
California. Can you turn it over, sir? I can see it in the camera. We can show it on your video. So it says the Navy Reserve, turn it more to your right a little bit. No, the other way. Your military right. There you go. And yeah, and that's something that was so unique about the U.S. Navy. You can hold it down, sir. I've noticed that about the U.S. Navy. When you retire from the Navy, you're like, you get that certificate, and you're still on call, kind of. They need you, they're going to call you, and that's their certificate. Say, hey, thank you for your service there, Mr. Silva. But guess what? If the U.S. Navy says we need you, we got you, and we got your certificate. So that's awesome, though. But I noticed that about...
But you know, this is what amazes me. Some people, when was it? Vietnam, they didn't recognize the military people
No, they
very
didn't.
much.
No,
But this one area they do. And they can't get in front. But you know what makes me feel I'll be wearing these? Thank you for serving our country. Well, you're quite welcome.
Yes, sir.
They make you feel good, you know?
Yes, thank you. And America, I think, is making up for our Vietnam veterans too. We have now a national Vietnam War Day, Vietnam Veterans Day for our war veterans, because America didn't get it right, but they got it right after Vietnam, the Desert Storm, and our Iraqi freedom, and our Operation Enduring Freedom, Afghanistan.
Look at not getting political. Look at it. Trump, the way he treated his people.
But
The guy's coming over there for fighting. You want to kill the cats or animals or whatever.
Yeah.
That's the way I sounded.
yes, sir. And then I believe you have, I think you have some family pictures here.
Oh yeah.
And this one is, I
This
think
is-
that's of you and your wife, right? Your bride of 65 years?
Yeah. Yeah.
You want to turn it around and we can see it? And hold it up higher, hold it up closer. There you go. So,
This is my wife. And me.
and there's when you guys were, how old when you got married? When you and your wife was married? How old were you when you and your wife got married?
Oh, I was.
He was 19, I was 17.
So you were 19 years old and she was 17. And man, your wife, beautiful picture. I see why you fell in love and you're like, I'm going to marry this woman. And look at you now. And that's what, your 50th year anniversary picture?
Yes.
50 years. Look at that. It's beautiful. And you still all look good together now. And that's 65 years marriage. Well, thank you. That's a beautiful picture. And I think you have one more, Mr. Silva. Looks like it's another family picture.
It's the family picture.
This is a family.
So these are all your kids, huh?
Hold on.
And you have,
6 boys
Let
and
me
3
double
girls.
check. Yeah, they're all.
so you have 6
This one-
boys and 3 girls, huh?
This is my daughter in the Navy right now. Well,
Okay,
she
you wanna
retired.
turn it around?
She's retired.
She's retired Navy?
Yes. She works at the Home Depot down there, Gracie.
Okay. And what's her name?
Annette Luis
Annette?
Silva.
So what are all your children's names?
Okay, this is Armando.
Uh-huh. Is he the oldest?
Yes.
Yeah.
And
This
who's
is,
next after Armando?
and this is, you get closer now, okay?
Well, that's
This is Larry, you know?
That's Larry, but it's Armando, Jerry, Gilbert,
Uh-huh.
Beatrice, Larry, Arthur, Steve, and then Debbie and Annette.
Annette. So Annette's the baby.
Annette's the baby. She's the one that went in the Navy.
Can you hold the picture again? We can get it on camera so we can see your beautiful family.
Well, whatever.
Yeah, there you go. Bring it a little bit closer this way. There you go. Awesome. Well, that's beautiful. That's a beautiful family, Mr. Silva.
Thank
Very
you.
beautiful family. And I believe those are all your pictures, right, that you have? And so before we close out, Mr. Silva, anything else you would like to share before we go and conclude your interview? Anything else you'd like to talk about?
No.
Okay. Well, Mr. Silva, I want to thank you so much for taking the time for this interview. And above all, I want to thank you for the service to our country. And from one veteran to another veteran, you know, we're all veterans taking care of veterans. And God bless you and your family. And I want to thank you we want to thank you for your service. The Kings County Library, Veterans Research Center, and Veterans History Project of the Library of Congress thanks you for your service.